in order to have lasting happiness, we first need to acknowledge the reality of suffering. This may be depressing to begin with, but it works in the long run. Although some people prefer to avoid facing reality by taking drugs, by seeking false states of bliss through directional spiritual paths, or by living life in the fast lane so that they have no time to think deeply. They only experience a short reprieve. When their problems come back in force, they find themselves at sea and fill the land with lamentations. Anger or despair takes them over, compounding their initial difficulty with pointless suffering. So try to understand where our suffering comes from. Like everything else, it is the result of a countless number of causes and conditions. If our feelings depended on one cause alone, we would only have to meet one cause of happiness for happiness to arise systematically. But we know very well that that is now how things work. So let's give up the idea that there is always one thing that is responsible for our unhappiness, and that if we could identify it, we would not suffer. Welcome. Namaste. Today's practice is focused on happiness, bringing motivation to our body, our mind, and our soul to motivate us to fill ourselves with happiness, joy, and peace. So our practice will be a little bit more vigorous than we normally practice. During this time of the day, if you are watching this in the morning time, between the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., this is a very sluggish time of day. So this is where we need the most motivation. So let's begin by standing up. Come onto your mat. You can move your props out of the way. Coming to your Tadasana, so standing with your feet about hip-width distance apart, bringing your hands at your sides, feeling the earth beneath the soles of your feet, lengthening out through the crown of your head. Let your shoulders be relaxed and broad. So lifting up through your heart center, keeping a nice tall spine. Your belly is drawn in towards your spine. So hug your belly in towards your spine. That opens up the rib cage and the heart even more. Bring your hands out, turning them out, your arms turning them out, finding a slight external rotation. So pressing into the floor with all four corners of your feet and finding this beautiful length from the base of your spine all the way out to the crown of your head. And we're just going to bring our hands together and rub your hands together, creating some heat. So if you're feeling a little sluggish, you might be feeling chilly, you don't want to move too much. So we're going to kind of try to shift all of that bringing in some motivation. When we're motivated, we feel happy and we're able to accomplish things. So it's really, really important to focus on that in your practice when you're feeling that yuck. So making that heat and then covering your eyes, covering your face. Good. And then go ahead now and shake your hands out, shake your wrists out, shake your hands out. And then we're going to give ourselves a quick little massage here. So just start with the arms and the shoulders. Just kind of go slow, fast, whatever feels good for you. You can stop at a spot that feels kind of achy. Get into your shoulders, rub the shoulders out, both sides. And this may seem silly, but this is really, really important in Ayurveda. It's called Abhyanga, giving yourself a self-massage. It helps ground you. Loosens up any tension in your body. Get your head, your neck, mess your hair up. Nobody's watching you here, so who cares? Your face, your face. Especially if you have congestion. So during this time of year, and especially with everything going on, being in quarantine, a lot of us have congestion, a lot of congestion in our body. So if you have sinuses, this is good to loosen up your sinuses here. Right. And then get your belly, your back, your buttocks, and your legs. Paying close attention to your knees if your knees bother you. And your feet, don't forget about your feet. The bottom of your feet, your toes. And this should be done every day. Before you go to bed is a good idea to helps relax you. After you take a bath or shower, you can incorporate using some oils. Good. All right, coming back to stand. All right, now we're going to shake it off. So we're just going to twist our torso. We're just going to twist like we're a little kid. We're just moving our arms, swinging our arms around, and you can go ahead and like kind of hit yourself as you come around and hit the front, the back, just kind of bring some energy, vigor to the body. You can go as fast or as slow. You can be as gentle as you'd like. Loosening up our back, our hips, shoulders, all that good stuff. Good, and then coming back to center, neutral, back to our Tadasana. So now we're going to extend our hands up towards the sky. And you're going to come up on your tippy toes or on the ball mounts of your feet. Okay. Like you're trying to reach something on a really high shelf or a cabinet. I want you to try to reach. So reach with your right side. Reach your right hand longer than your left hand and using your whole body to reach. So not just from your shoulder joint, reaching all through your side body, especially from your hip here to the shoulder. Find that length. So you're using your whole body to reach so that you don't injure your shoulder. And then reach the other side. And just keep switching, alternating. You can move around too. If you find that you're out of balance, go ahead, walk around if you want to. You can walk around your mat. You can come off your mat, walk and reach one hand higher than the other, alternating, finding space. And then coming back to center, back to your Tadasana, bringing your hands at your side, finding that external rotation, slight turn out of your arms. Shoulders are back, ears are in line with your shoulders. So you're drawing your head back so that you're promoting a nice long spine from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. Feeling that lengthen, that energy there, focusing on your breath. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or maybe just have a soft gaze. And as you inhale, notice where your breath goes. And as you exhale, notice where the breath goes. There's no right or wrong, just notice. Notice maybe perhaps the heart expands on the inhale, the chest opens up more. And as you exhale, the chest, heart melts back down. Just notice. And notice what happens to your belly when you breathe. Bring your awareness to your belly. On your inhale, your belly probably draws in towards your spine. And on your exhales, your belly kind of inflates out like a balloon. It relaxes. Just notice. And bringing that mind-body awareness here, connecting your breath to your body. Notice if you feel expansion in your backside on the inhale. Notice what happens on your backside when you inhale. Yeah, the rib cage expands out to the sides. Finding expansion not just in front, but in back too. And what happens on the exhale? Everything relaxes, even your back. So our breath is really, really, really super important. Let's take a couple more breaths. Don't force anything, just notice. Easy breathing. Good. All right, so now bringing your feet a little bit more than hip width distance apart. You don't have to go too wide. Bring your heels in and your toes out a little bit of external rotation in our legs. Bring your hands to your hips and just bend your knees a little bit. And your hands can be on your hips or on your thighs, either way for this. And we're going to rotate the upper body here, making some circles. Adjust your stance if you need to. If you want to take a wider stance, go right ahead. Just kind of see what works for you here. Take some time. Your circles could be really, really big, or maybe they're a little. Depends on what you're feeling today. There's no right or wrong. It's only what you need. Take a few more on this side. And then slight pause and just reverse. Good, and then coming back to center, straighten up your legs, heel, toe your feet together, or step your feet together. And then inhale, reach your hands up towards the sky, and then palms together and kind of hinge over to the right side, kind of like you're making a crescent moon. And inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, lean over to the left side. And again, we're reaching not just from our shoulder, remember our whole side body. So notice if you're reaching just from the shoulders, try to reach from your hip. And inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, leaning over to the right one more time. And we're going to add on here, we're going to take our left foot and just reach it out, step out. So you're on your tippy toes or the ball mount of your foot, and you're leaning over to your right side, finding some more length here through our leg, our whole leg, our side body, our arm. And then inhale, step it in, come back to center. Exhale, lean to the left and step your right foot out. And reaching, finding length from your torso. Reaching, opening up. Notice if this side feels different from the other side. Inhale, come back to center, step it in. Bring your hands to your heart. Good. Let your hands relax at your sides. Go ahead, shake your shoulders out a little bit. And roll the shoulders forward or the opposite direction. Inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Keeping your knees bent as much as you need to, our first forward fold. And if you're not inverting today, take a half lift. So those of you who are on your menstrual cycle, the first few days of your menstrual cycle, or if you have any eye pressure issues, glaucoma, anything like that, you don't want to be inverting, so be mindful of that. Otherwise, come to a full forward fold. Arms could be hanging or maybe grabbing opposite elbows. And sway your body side to side. You can let your hands kind of sway. Inhale, look forward, halfway lift. Hands on your shins or your thighs, elbows tucked in. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, hands towards sky, slowly come up, allow your head to be the very last thing that comes up. Palms together, exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Bring your hands to your hips, step your feet wide again. Heels in, toes out. Hinge your knees a little bit. Good. Bringing your hands onto your thighs. We're going to do our standing cat-cow here. So drawing your chin into your chest, bring your shoulders forward, round your back for our cat pose. And again, adjust. If you need to take a wider stance, go ahead and adjust your shorter stance. Back is arched up towards the sky. Shoulders come forward. Really round out your back. And then inhale, look up. Let your belly come forward. Your tailbone tilts back. Take your gaze up. Shoulders are back. And then exhale, chin to chest. Round your back, bring your shoulders forward. Inhale, look up. Tailbone tilts up. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding out your back. One more, inhale, look up. Belly comes forward, let the belly hang out. Heart is lifted. Exhale, chin to chest, rounding out your back. Coming to neutral, straightening up your legs, hands to hips, standing up. Heel toe your feet together or step your feet together. Inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your hands to your thighs. Bend your knees like you're about to sit back in a chair. Hug your elbows in towards your sides. And then extend your arms straight out in front of you, like you're in a little squat. Then inhale, stand up straight, hands towards sky, palms together. And then inhale, as the belly draws in towards your spine, the heart begins to open, chest expands. Look up if that's comfortable. Maybe take a little mini back bend in your upper back. And then exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. And just take a moment here, noticing your breath, noticing how you feel. You may already at this point feel the heart rate begin to rise. And then inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands on your thighs. Hug your elbows in. Bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair. Reach your hands forward. Holding it here. Then inhale, straighten your legs, hands towards sky, palms together. Inhale, open up through your heart. Exhale, bring your hands back to heart center. Again, taking a pause, just noticing your breath. Noticing that energy starting to flow through your body, that vital energy. What gives us that motivation that we so need nowadays. Inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Bend your knees. Hug your elbows in. And then extending your arms straight out in front of you. Inhale, hands towards sky, straighten your legs, open up your heart. Exhale, bringing your hands back to your heart space. Again, pause. And maybe take a moment to set your intention here. Now that we've got the blood pumping a little bit, bringing that awareness internally. And just notice. What's your goal? What do you need? Focus on that intention. And inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Bringing your hands to your mat, we're going to step back to our down dog. So just take a step back. And walk your hands up maybe about half a handprint or a whole handprint. You don't want to have a crease in your wrist. So if you're forward too much, you'll have your elbows, your wrists will be bent and you'll be more like in a plank. And you want to smooth out the wrists. So bringing your chest closer towards your thighs so that your head comes in line with your arms. Your head is right between your arms. And if that doesn't quite go right for you, you may have to take a wider stance. So you may need to walk your hands up a little bit more. So kind of play with that, finding your downward facing dog, bringing your chest closer towards your thighs. So you feel this nice long stretch in your upper body. Your heels may or may not touch the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you need to here. So the pressure isn't all on our wrists. We're like an upside down V. Go ahead, walk your dog, hinge one knee, then the other. And then bend your knees. And at the bottom of your exhale, try to hop to the top of the mat. And bunny hops are acceptable too. So you can do it in more than one hop. That's perfectly okay. And then inhale, halfway lift. Incorporating our little squat here, hinge your knees. Extend the arms straight out in front of you. Hold it. And inhale, hands towards sky, open up the hearts. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. Step back to your down dog. Find your down dog. Take your time. Take a few breaths. The bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees. And hop to the top of your mat, using the core muscles to hop, or bunny hops. Coming to your forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hinge your knees. Extend the arms out in front of you. Hold it here for a breath or two. Inhale, hands towards sky. Straighten your legs, open your heart. Exhale, bring your hands back to your heart center. Inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward bend. Stepping back to your downward facing dog. Taking your time finding your perfect dog. And now extending your right leg, just straight back behind you, doesn't matter how far, just extending that leg back. Then bend your right knee and draw your right knee towards your chest as you shift your shoulders over your wrists. And then bring yourself back, extending your right leg straight back. Nice and slow, one more time, bend your knee, draw it in. Shoulders come over your wrist and extend your leg straight back. Hold it here for a breath or two. Lift your left heel. See if you can come onto the ball mount of your left foot. And then place your left heel down and place your right foot down and walk it out. Left leg, extending it behind you. Bend the left knee, draw that left knee in, roll shoulders over your wrists, like you're in a plank, and then extend your left leg out. Bend the left knee, bring it in, shoulders over wrists, extend that left leg out. Hold it here, come onto your right tippy toes or your right ball mount, and then melt your right heel to the floor. Place your left foot down, bend your knees, bottom of your exhale, step or float to the top of your mat or bunny hop. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees like you're sitting in a chair. Extend your arms out in front of you. Inhale, hands towards sky. Inhale, open up your heart. Find length. Open up through your heart space. Mini back bend. Exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Pausing for just a moment. Again, scanning your body, just really having that mind-body awareness. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Notice any tension, any aches, any pain. Just being mindful and being aware of what you need in your practice. Maybe you need to slow down, maybe you need to modify, and that's perfectly okay. Not letting anything weigh you down, not judging yourself because you can't do a certain thing, or it's too challenging. It's just not a new practice today, and that's okay. And then inhale, hands towards sky. Exhale, forward fold. And then stepping back to your downward facing dog. Finding your dog, taking your time getting there, and allowing yourself to be here for a breath or two. Really melt your chest towards your thighs. Find a nice stretch here in the upper body. Feel the opening in the low back. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And now shifting your weight, shifting your body forward so that your shoulders come over your wrists. Like you're in a plank pose, drop your butt down. Go ahead, drop your knees. Let the knees drop. Modified plank. In your modified plank, you want to make sure you have a nice long line from your knees to the shoulders. So you don't want your butt up like this is table pose. You want to bring your butt down. Bring the butt down. So you find that nice long line. If you're looking at your video, if you're looking at a mirror, I should say, you can see that nice long line of energy. Okay. And then taking your gaze forward, uncurl the toes, lift up through your heart. Feel a nice back extension here. Bend your elbows, slowly come down onto your belly. Keep your elbows bent and tucked in. Heart is still open. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And then exhale, bringing your chin to the mat. Bring your chin to the mat. Relax for a moment. And then as you inhale, bring yourself back. So bring your butt back onto your heels. Your knees can go wide or they can stay together. Sit back on your heels, coming to child's pose. Bringing your head to the mat or a block. It's kind of sinking in here. You can shift your hips from side to side to help loosen things up. Walk your fingertips towards the top of the mat if you want to open up the shoulders even more. The side body that we've been working on. And inhale, coming back to your tabletop. So knees right underneath your hips. Then right to downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, center bottom up. Adjusting your down dog. Taking that one more time, shifting forward, coming into your plank, shoulders stacked over your wrists. Okay? Modified, bring your knees down. Bend your elbows, slowly come down. Hug your elbows in. Uncurl your toes. Inhale, lift your heart. Elbows can be bent or straight arms for your full cobra. You choose. And then exhale to child's pose, drawing your bottom to your heels. Melting onto your mat. Inhale, coming to your table. And then our downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, send the bottom up. Inhale. And then exhale, bend your knees and hop to the top of your mat. Come to your forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend your knees, our lovely squat pose, chair pose variation. Extending your arms in front of you. Inhale, hands towards sky. Open up through your heart as you inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Now, we're going to come to a standing balance pose here. So bringing your feet about hip-width distance apart. Hands on your hips. Hinging your right knee, turn out your right leg. Let your right heel rest on your inner left ankle. And lift your right hip up. And you notice your left hip might be out to the side a little bit. So lift your right hip up so that we're nice and neutral in our pelvis and our hips here. Navel is drawn in, hug your belly in. And bringing your foot on the side of your leg and just kind of see where it goes. Anywhere but your knee. If you're perfectly okay in this kickstand position, then stay here. That's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you can kind of play with this, see where your foot wants to go. May go up a little bit higher. Hands could be anywhere for balance. Out to the side, maybe up to the sky. Growing your tree and making sure that you're focused on your drishti point, a focal point to help maintain your balance. Good. Now taking your right ankle, placing it on top of your left thigh. So like we're doing half a squat here. Bending that left knee as far as you can go, as far as feels comfortable for you. Bringing your hands straight out in front of you. Good. And smile. You got this. Bringing your hands to your heart. For different variation, added variation, you can extend your hands to the floor and you can reach to the floor. And only if that's accessible for you today. So whatever works for you today. And then inhale, slowly come back up, bring your hands to your hips. Find your tree again, come right back to your tree. And try a different variation than you did before with your arms. And then bringing your right foot down and just shake that out. Good job. Now, if you're having a lot of balance issues today, come to the wall or you can use a chair for this. Left side, bending your left knee, turning out that left leg. Find your tree, again, making sure that you're nice and neutral in your pelvis, here in your hips. Lift up your left hip. Find your focal point and then find your tree. And this side might be completely different than the other side. And then bringing your hands to your hips for a moment. And we're going to slowly transition, bringing our left ankle, on top of your right leg, bending your right knee. Hands straight out in front of you. You can hold on to a chair if you need to, or the wall. Only go to your comfort level. Bring your hands wherever you need to for balance. And for those of you who can touch the floor, go ahead and bring your hands to the floor or a block if you have that, or just bring your hands to your heart. And smile. It's not that bad, I promise. And then inhale, bring your hands to your hips. And come right back to your tree pose. And maybe it's just kickstand. And that's okay. Maybe try a different variation with your arms. And then bringing your hands to your hips, internally rotating that leg, and shake that out. All right. And now let's bring our feet wide. Heels in, toes out. Bend your knees, goddess pose. Hands could be at your hips, or you can bring your hands in prayer. And notice if you're leaning forward. See if you can find that length. Lengthen out through the crown of your head. Draw your belly in, hug your belly in. Maybe open up those arms to goddess arms, palms facing forward, bending at your elbows, lifting up through your heart. You can even take your gaze up if you'd like. You can clasp your hands behind your back and draw those knuckles towards the floor. Kind of play with it, see what works for you. You can lift up your heels, or maybe just one, alternating. There's lots of ways we can do this. There's no perfect way. Your way is the perfect way. And smile. Good. Sink the hips a little bit lower. You got this. And then exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Straighten your legs. And turn your feet in just a little bit. We're going to come to our forward bend here with our wide leg stance. So with our hands at our hips, we're going to fold forward, just come about halfway. Keep your knees soft. Make sure your knees aren't locked. And your knees should be lined up with your toes. Your knees should be lined up overlooking the second toe. So if you need to turn your feet out a little bit, go ahead. I don't want you to tweak your knees. And then let your hands drop. You can use a block if you'd like, or a book. Hands on the floor or your prop. And let your head hang heavy. You could rest your head on the block. You can bend your knees if you'd like. Adjust your stance. Maybe you'd like to take a wider stance. If your head could reach the ground, let the crown of your head rest on the ground. And take this opportunity to let go of the stuff that has been weighing you down, causing you to feel sluggishness, causing you to feel unmotivated and unhappy. Just let that all go right now. And then inhale, take a half lift. Walk your feet in a little bit. Bring your hands to your hips. And then slowly come up. Take your time. Good. And turning out your right leg. Turn out that right leg. And then on your inhale, bring your hands out to the side in like a T position. And then just reach to the right. Reach to the right. Then bring your hand to your leg. Right hand to your leg. Flip your left palm up towards the sky and reach up towards the sky. So no leaning forward, just stay nice and tall. Reach your left hand towards the sky as you lean towards the right. Let your right hand slide down your leg without forcing anything. Just let it go where it wants to go, keeping your heart open. Gaze up towards the sky or look at your hand. And then bring your right hand on the inside of your front leg, palm facing forward. See if you can open up a little bit more without leaning forward. Then inhale, come back to center, hands in T position. Turn your right leg in. And now turn your left foot out. Same thing. If you need to shorten up your stance, it's okay to do that. And now let's lean to the left. So reach to the left first without leaning forward. See if you can just keep the heart open and lean. Let your left hand rest on your leg. Flip the right palm up towards the sky. Reach up towards the sky. Find length first. Remember finding length through our whole body, not just our arm. And then allow that left hand just to slide down your leg wherever it goes. Keeping your heart open, so gaze up towards the sky or maybe your hand. And then if it feels comfortable for you, take that left hand, palm facing forward on the inside of your front leg and see if you can open up a little bit more without having to lean forward. And then inhale, coming back to center. Bring your hands to your hips, turning your left foot in, heel toe, or step your feet together. Good. And now we're going to come to a squat with our legs together. So go ahead and bend your knees. You can put your hands on the floor. You're on the ball mounts of your feet, or some of you may be able to have your feet completely flat. My heels are off the floor. That's okay. So if your heels are off the floor, and you're finding you're having a difficult time balancing, you can take a pillow or a blanket and just put it there. It's really nice. And then bringing your hands to your heart, pressing into your palms, feeling that energy between the palms of your hands and your fingertips. Elbows are out wide, spine is long and tall. Navel's drawn in, lengthening out through the crown of your head. And exhale, bringing your left elbow to your right knee. Pressing into the palms, see if you can stack those elbows. Allowing your heart to remain open, gazing up towards the sky. And then inhale, bring your hands back to your heart. And taking your right elbow to your left knee. Pressing into the palms, stacking the elbows. Look to the side or maybe look to the sky. And inhale, coming back to center for a moment. Bringing your hands to the floor. If you have a prop there, go ahead and move it out of the way. And then you're going to come back and sit mindfully, gently back onto your bottom. Extend your legs out in front of you. Bending your right knee, bring the sole of your right foot on the inside of your left leg. If you need to prop yourself up, you can tuck a blanket underneath your left bottom. And if you notice that your right leg is not on the floor, not rooted and relaxed on the floor, you can tuck a blanket underneath the left hip so that your right leg could be more relaxed. And then on your inhale, you're going to extend your hands up towards the sky, finding length from our torso. Inhale, finding all that space that we created, and then exhale, fold over your front leg. And then inhale, just come back up. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. One more inhale, come back up. And exhale, fold. And this time, let's stay here. Using your inhale, finding length. So as you fold, you're not only are you bending, you're folding, but you're lengthening. You're lengthening your upper body. So imagine that you have this invisible string tugging at the crown of your head, and it's pulling your the crown of your head and making space, kind of like a Laffy Taffy that kind of stretches out. So imagine your upper body stretching. And then inhale, coming back up. And then extending your right leg. And switching sides. So taking your left, bending the left knee, placing the sole of the left foot on the inside of your right leg. So kind of like our tree pose, right? Our seated tree pose. Sitting up nice and tall, and again, if that left leg, if there seems to be some tension in your left leg, take a blanket, and you can see it now that I'm facing you on this side. You can tuck a blanket underneath your right side. This gives you some more support. Inhale, lengthen, find space, not just from your arms, remember, not just from the shoulders, from your whole side body. Find that nice length. And then bending at your hip joint, your hip crease. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. And let's stay here this time. Lengthening at the same time you're folding, you're lengthening. Your next inhale, slowly make your way up. Allow your head to be the very last thing that comes up. And then extending your left leg. Both legs extended out in front of you. Inhale, hands towards sky, lengthen. Stretch, reach your hands up towards the sky, and then exhale, fold, and then come back up. Inhale, hands towards sky, exhale, fold, inhale, back up, exhale, fold, inhale, back up, exhale, fold, and let's stay here this time. Don't worry about how far you're folding, it doesn't matter. Keep your gaze forward. So maybe look at your toes and focus on bending at your hip joint. Keeping your back nice and long. So I don't want you to round your back out like I'm doing right now. I'm rounding my back out. See if you could keep your back nice and tall. And then bending, focus on the bend right at the hip crease. If you place your fingers right at the hip joint right here, that's your hip crease. So you want you to fold there. Focus on folding there. Looking forward, like you're leading with your heart. This will help you create space in your body so that you're not bending using your back. You're using your whole entire upper body to fold. This may take you 10 breaths, it may take you 20 breaths, and that's okay. Just take your time getting here. Every time you inhale, imagine that invisible string tugging at the crown of your head, making more space in your body, and when you exhale, you will naturally fold more deeply into your pose. It'll just naturally happen, so don't force anything. And then once you've gotten to the full expression of your pose, then round your back, let your neck relax. Let your chin just drop towards your chest. You can relax your arms. And then inhale, walking your hands towards your body. Come to a neutral spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then slowly lower yourself down onto your back. Center yourself on your mat, give yourself some space, and lower yourself down nice and gently. Hug your knees in. Grabbing your big toes with your first two fingers, your peace fingers, or you can grab the outside edges of your feet and draw the soles of your feet to the sky. Your knees can be bent out to the sides, coming to happy baby pose. This practice is all about being happy, right? So we have to incorporate happy baby pose. Tapping into our inner child, letting go, being in the present moment. You know, as a child, you weren't never worried about, you know, the past or the future. As being a child, you're always in the present moment, always happy. So tapping into that, letting go. You can straighten your legs if you want. You can rock side to side, whatever feels good. And then hug your knees in. Literally give yourself a hug. Wrap your hands around the knees. Maybe draw your nose towards your knees if that feels good. And then exhale. Straighten your legs. Stretch your legs out on your mat. Stretch your arms back behind you. Just take a nice big stretch. And then prepare yourself for Shavasana. Making yourself nice and comfy on the mat, taking up that space on your mat, beyond your mat, that your feet flop open to the sides. Use any props that you need. If you need a pillow underneath your knees, or if you need to cover up with a blanket, whatever it is that you need. And then close your eyes or have a soft gaze. Bring your awareness to the breath. Scan your body. Notice if there's any tension still in the body, and try to use your breath to refine it, to let it go, to smooth it out. And give yourself permission to be in this place of complete awareness, in the present moment. Feeling this vital energy flow through your body, giving you motivation, leading you to a path of happiness and peace. So honoring your body, your mind, and your soul. Slowly begin to bring physical awareness back to your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your ears, wiggle your nose. And place your hands on your belly. Inhale through your nose and allow your belly to inflate. And then exhale. Allow the belly to draw in. Inhale through your nose. Allow the belly to expand. Exhale, release it. Inhale, belly expands. Feeling all that space that you created. And then exhale. One more time, inhale to your belly. And then exhale, release. And bringing your hands to your heart. You can stack your hands at your heart, at your chest area. Now inhale into your chest, inhale into your heart. Allow the chest to expand as you inhale. The chest, the sides, the back, feel all that space. It feels so good. And then exhale. Relax into that space. Settle into that space. Inhale, breathe into your heart, into your chest. Exhale, release. Inhale into the heart space. Chest expands, front, back, sides, everything opens. And then exhale, settle into that space. One more time, chest breath. Inhale, filling up. And then exhale, letting go and settling. Keep one hand at your heart and place one hand on your belly. Inhale, belly. Keep inhaling all the way to the heart. One smooth inhale. And then exhale, release. Full yogic breath. Inhale, belly. All the way up into the heart. Keep inhaling. Exhale, release. One more full yogic breath. Inhale, belly. Ribs, heart. Exhale, release. Let your hands relax at your sides or wherever they may be. Bring your breath to a natural, organic breath, easy breath. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. Roll to your side. Coming into a fetal position, allow your head to rest on top of your arms or your hands. Take a couple of deep breaths, maybe even sigh it out on the exhale. Feeling ready to seize the day. And slowly make your way up, placing one hand into the earth and then the other. Coming up to a seated position. Your eyes may remain closed or maybe just having a soft gaze. Settling into your space. Bringing your awareness to your heart center. Bring your awareness to the breath. Nice, easy, smooth breath. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Gazing at your heart. Bringing your awareness to the heart space and your intention. Knowing that your intention is always within you, within your heart. And all you have to do is pay attention to it. Put your attention on your intention. And give yourself permission to manifest it. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Manifest what it is that makes you happy. Allow it to come to fruition by just simply being yourself, by just simply being you. And slowing down and breathing and being in the present moment. That's it. I want to thank you for sharing your practice with me, for sharing your light, your love, and your beautiful energy. But most importantly, I'm always ever so grateful that you allowed me to be your guide in this journey, in your journey of healing. Namaste.